All right, today we are doing a question that you are going to get all the time as a reader. The question is, the category you're going to get most often is, of course, love and relationships. Probably one of the top 3 questions you're going to get in that respect are, am I going to find love in this specific time frame or at this point in the future, blah, blah, blah. And it's a very important question to help out with, just because a person, they come to you for guidance and advice because they just don't know. There's so many things we can do to objectively prepare ourselves, but we can't see ourselves from the outside perspective, and we can't really see what's going on, behind the scenes, so to speak, like way behind the curtain. And there's a lot of reasons why we may or may not be ready for a relationship at a certain point in time. And when they come to a reader like you or I, it's our job to help them ask that question and find out what it is that might be in the way of that, or if it's coming. Most of the time people just want to know, is it happening? But when you do a spread on that, like a Celtic Cross, for example, you're going to get a lot of information that's going to help them understand why the answer is what it is. Because you're going to get probably an affirmative, a negative, or a maybe, as is the case today. And it's hard to justify just spitting out a yes or a no or a maybe without giving a lot of context behind it. Like, a person has to feel like they receive some value. And I feel like as a reader, I have to offer more than just the answer. That's just my style. I can't be like, yeah, no, or I don't know, it depends. That's just not fair. So what I like to do is, when I get this question, I do a Celtic Cross. And so for this, I like to map it out, right? And that's just, again, my style. You do it however you want to do it. What I like to do is I write down all of the components of the question that I want answered. So I modify Celtic Cross Spread only in that I just tweak the positions a tiny bit. They still are the exact same as any other Celtic Cross, except I just made it a little bit more specific. So instead of like the near future, I put what can they do in the next 2 months. For card position 9, I put it's usually like an innermost emotions. This one actually has the most play, most flexibility in the Celtic Cross Spread, because you'll find among all of your books and resources, it can mean different things. So for this one, I put what they really want or need in a partner or hopes to find. So that really helps us narrow down. When I deliver the reading, it helps me give some guidance on this. And that's really what I want to do, is have someone leave feeling like they got an answer, but then they also got more. They got as much as they possibly can from me. So what I do with this is, so this question came in, these questions usually come in on hotline type services. So if you're like an app reader, or if you work for like a psychic app, or psychic website or hotline, anything like that. So I get this question, I get like a picture of the person, their date of birth, their name, and that helps me kind of understand, helps me grab their energy. And then I program the spread, tailor it depending on their needs, and then I'll shuffle. And as I shuffle, I think about all of the things here, because as I'm shuffling, I'm programming what I want into the cards, right? And again, the cards are not the magic part, you are, but you have to work with this as the tool. So we have to get them synchronized. And I do that by programming the deck to tell me what I need it to tell me. And for me, a visual request is the best. So that in mind, we are going to shuffle this up. I'm going to think about all of this that's here, and then after that, we're going to put it up on the screen and we can kind of walk through the cards and how we might address this reading. Okay, there's our cast. So now I'm going to take it over to the screen so you can see everything, all the card positions and what they're supposed to mean, and we'll kind of go over the analysis of this. So now we have our spread on screen with the assigned card positions on the left. The descriptions of the card positions have been customized a little bit, but the important thing to remember is that they still have the essential qualities of the Celtic cross. We are only tweaking the positions a little bit to get the most specific answer, but we're still staying true to the spread as it was intended. So the client asked if they were going to find love this year and added that they joined a dating app. Other than that, I only had their name, date of birth, and photo to work with. Before we deliver a reading, we have to make sure that it's right. In that, we check cards 1, 2, 4, and 5 to verify the situation. We see that the person's currently filled with that desire to feel love or something like it. That Page of Cups reverse, though, tells me that there might be some emotional immaturity or an altered perception of healthy relationships. They just don't want to be in a relationship. So they don't they feel they need affection because they currently feel unloved and accepted. So the Tower reverse is showing us a history of on and off rocky relationships. They may have just come through a breakup that was one of several, and they're going back to the drawing board, so to speak. Based on those cards, it looks like we have the right spread. Now we can look for their answer. While we as readers want to go over every card in agonizing detail, from the querent's perspective, they just want the answer. You show them this by telling them what you see in the verifying cards. Once you do that, they can tell you that you indeed have some intel. Otherwise, how could you describe the current situation and what's causing it? That said, when I have to provide a written reading, I jump right to the end of the reading, almost like giving an executive summary. For this reading, with respect to the question if they will find love this year, the moon card says, maybe. And I know that's not the answer you or they were looking for, but so we're bound to deliver the messages, whatever they are. The important thing to note is that it wasn't a no, it wasn't a yes. And so I did some further looking into how they can nudge that to a yes. What can the querent do to increase their chances of finding love this year? Let's check out the rest of the cards. I kept getting a sense of dependency on another person. That came through from the Tower reversed, Strength reversed, Page of Cups reversed, Queen of Cups reversed, and the Hanged Man reversed. Were they reliant on another, or had someone been relying on them to an extreme? There is an endless looping of behavior that never seems to end in a positive way. Usually it's in a way that makes a person feel worse and worse as time goes on. There's hope that things get better for a while, and then something happens that drags it back to the start. Every time that happens, it takes a little bit more of that person with them. There is some emotional healing that needs to happen as they make themselves ready to accept new connections and a potential relationship. They should maybe do things that make them feel better in general. Taking in some sunshine, going outside, drinking lots of water, try to find their spiritual center. The querent also happens to be an earth sign, and it feels like they've been gradually eroded over time, like a stone in a riverbed. It's time to renew themselves in body and mind. You can't pour from an empty cup, so it's of massive importance that this person start doing anything they can to refill it. The Six of Wands is showing us some noise from that dating site. The querent is likely to get some activity there, but it will not be all high quality, so they'll have to be picky and avoid any Peter Pan-like partners. If they're looking to find a long-term partner with whom a satisfying future can be had, they shouldn't waste their time with anyone who's going to deplete their emotional resources and not give anything in return. So that pattern has to end. The person they are looking for should be looking for, they came through in the King of Swords. So possibly not what the querent would have previously considered, in that the individual described by this king, they often appear to be a bit cool or aloof, teeny bit distant. And where some people use that as a manipulative tool, this person is just genuinely like that. That's just by their nature. They're a little bit like by themselves. Doesn't mean that they aren't attracted or capable of love or passion. It just means they might not pick up on the social cues as easily. They're likely to be someone that others view as a loner, but the truth is that they are self-contained and they can be content to spend some time alone. They might even be in a profession where communicating facts is a part of their work. The bottom line is that they need to understand that their value is not reliant on others. They need to keep a focus on bringing balance back. What they allow is what will continue. So the answer I received to the question is that they might very well find love this year, but they will need to break some old ways in order to get there. So that's it. That is the summary of the Celtic Cross for this question, with a sample real life kind of question, and the one that you will definitely encounter as you learn, like become a reader for others. So you can use this, use the card positions if you like, or use any other spread that you like, whatever you prefer, whatever works best for you, honestly, because tarot is such a personal practice. I'm just showing you one that I use and that I find a lot of luck with. So if you find it's useful, then awesome. That means mission accomplished. Anyway, take care, and I'll be back for another video soon.